Now, when we think of narcissists, we generally think of their impulsivity, right? They seem like highly troubled individuals, which they are, who can't plan and who think only of themselves. And a lot of times that's true. But I'm here to tell you, based off my observations and of course my individual opinion, the narcissist can be a long-term planner. In fact, they can cater their mistreatment of you to produce a long-term effect. And one of the long-term effects that I believe they want to produce is for you to be their retirement plan. Okay? They're ace in the hole. These are people who know that they cannot maintain friendships or meaningful relationships. These are people who know that their behavior makes it such that it would be very difficult to damn near impossible to expect any kind of loyalty when they become old, sick, infirm, broke, impoverished, whatever it is. So they do certain things that were probably largely done to them. But before we assign it to the culture of poverty or the narcissistic cycle, understand we all have choices. That's why I'm putting the responsibility at their feet. Long story short, the narcissist mistreated you, one, to emotionally regulate, of course, but they also mistreated you to make you their retirement plan. Let me explain. Now, most of us dealt with narcissists who had certain characteristics. Okay, chief among them, pure negativity. Pure negativity. I remember I would wake up in the morning, it'd be 8 in the morning, right? It's the weekend, you're rolling out of bed, rub the crust out your eyes, hop in the shower. You're making, breakfast. And here comes mom, my narc mom, my egg donor. Hey, did you see that there was some kid on TV who got abducted and raped, to, go by YouTube, and unalived? Yeah, they got abducted off their bike in broad daylight. They were driven to the forest where they were raped and unalived. Unprompted. Out of nowhere. It's 8 in the fucking morning. It's 8 in the morning. Who wants to talk about that at any time, really? Because that's some sad shit. Some terrifying, horrible stuff. It breaks your heart. But nobody asked you, and you're bringing this shit up at 8 in the morning. Okay? So let's start there. They crush you with negativity. Everything they tell you is negative. If you look at it, they take the negative side of everything. I just got a new job, but it seems like all the people there are jealous of me. I just got this, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to work out because of XYZ. Pure negativity. Negativity is energy, but it's not the type of energy that helps you. It's the type of energy that hinders you because you have a dark outlook on everything. For a long time, I had a dark outlook on everything. I couldn't focus on the thread of goodness within anything. It was just basically, oh, okay, well, that's nice. That's a nice puppy, but one day it's going to grow old and die. Dogs don't live as long as humans. That's going to be sad. That was my thought process. It wasn't like, oh, this person got a beautiful dog and I'm sure they're going to enjoy their life with this animal. As long as they can have this animal and they're going to give this animal a beautiful life. I was really caught up in negative thinking. Everything that was presented to me, I had to look at the shadow realm. Okay? They do that so that you don't hope for more in life. They do that so that you will remain grounded. Okay? Another feature. And remember, grounded means being grounded, not flying out the nest. Okay? Remember that. Another feature. They make you distrust people and institutions. Now, if you notice, your narc parent narc whatever, couldn't maintain friendships, couldn't maintain business relationships, probably couldn't maintain romantic relationships. What are the words they tell you about that? You know, there's nobody out there that's really your friend. You know, true friends are hard to find. You know, you can pretend to like people, but you got to play the game in life. You know, people really have bad intentions at the end of the day. This is all shit I always heard. Because I remember being a kid, like, why don't you have friends? Mom, like, what? Like, don't you want friends? Like, don't you want to have, like, girlfriends you can hang out with and talk to about stuff? And she was just like, yeah, but you can't trust people. You can't trust people. I don't trust people. Everybody did me wrong. And every story that you'd hear about her and her friend wouldn't be like her and her girlfriends going to Cancun or doing something fun like that. It was always something like, yeah, and then I caught her looking at my man, and then this one stole from me, and then this one did this, and then this one was talking about me. I never confirmed it, but I just had a suspicion. And you're just like, God damn. You sure have a lot of fucking bad interactions with people. And it's strange that you're the common denominator, but, you know, and that's not to say that there are people out there that screw with you, and that's not to say that there are very few real people out there, because that's true. But every adult that wants to function in society knows that you have the people that you pour a lot into, and you have the people that are just that guy I see once in a while. And maybe I'll talk to him. Maybe I'll play pool with him. Maybe I'll have a beer with him. I'm not going to break down and talk about every childhood memory with this guy. This guy isn't deserving of that. This is a person whom, you know, I've observed some things in him. And I don't really feel that I want to pour my all. But I can still have fun with people. It's not an all or nothing thing. Narcissists are very all or nothing. They generally think in absolutes. Either you're up or down. Either you're good or bad. Within that moral judgment, they get to make themselves seem pure. Because if I get to judge the world as bad, that must necessarily mean that I'm good. Right? So they're extremely negative, and they teach you to distrust people. Why do they teach you to distrust people? Because relationships that are positive and healthy, which are all things you can find in the world, by the way. If you're real and you're good to people, that will come back to you, I promise you. So don't get caught in the hopelessness of the abyss of narcissistic bullshit. But I digress. They do it. They make you distrustful of people because people can act as a lifeline. When you as the scapegoat or the truth teller or even the golden child, if you wake up, and I hope to God you do. When you wake up or you get to the point where you figured out their game, sometimes we need people to help us escape, to act as a lifeline, to act as a couch for us to fucking surf on, you know, to write us a letter of recommendation so we can get a better job, so we can save for first and last rent on a place faster than maybe our minimum wage job. You move forward through life with relationships. That's how you move forward with life. That's a lesson I'm still learning and cultivating. I've been a lone wolf for a long time. I've had to, or thought I had to, was brainwashed to just be like a lone warrior kind of a thing. And as a result, I became very direct, to the point, uncompromising, and judgmental. And that hindered my ability to forge relationships when I checked myself and allowed myself to be vulnerable, because it's all based in fear of being hurt. That's all fear. I was afraid. I just didn't want to be soft about being afraid, but I was very clearly afraid, right? But once I checked myself and got better, I started to notice you're getting more opportunities offered to you. More people are willing to, get in the paint for you. This is how you grow your life. And you in turn, I in turn, am willing to do that for them. So I've been out the house for a while. But I imagine if I was a young scapegoated kid or a scapegoat of any kind who's found themselves at home, because I've had to go home several times because I made mistakes in life and life kicked my ass. If you're one of these people and you come to the realization that you could do more with you could attract more bees with honey rather than vinegar, and that relationships are of value, and that anyone can learn how to cultivate them simply by being good to yourself and being a good person, what you're gonna do is increase your strength and you will escape that narcissist. You will forge that business relationship. You will meet that partner who falls in love with you. And you guys want to move in together, put your money together, maybe get married, maybe have a family. They don't want that because that's the life they could never have in their mind, because their parents told them that the world was horrible and people were horrible and everything is negative and everything is a glass half full or half empty rather than half full. Because they are eternal pessimists. And they need you to be that too. Because even though they treat you like shit, they want you there. Because they know that they've done enough to burn bridges. They know that they've done enough to be left alone. As I said, these people, when you think about a narc, you could almost feel very sympathetic. Indeed, I have some sympathy for narcs in the sense that everything they want, they do the opposite. You want people around you, so you treat people like shit. You want your children to think you're a good parent, but you treat your children like shit. You want to have the finer things in life, but you don't want to work. You want people to trust you, but you don't keep your word. These are very sad, small people, and they can't get the fuck out their own way. Another tactic the narc uses to keep you home: the meanness. The meanness. The unprovoked attacks. I remember waking up in the mornings being yelled at. I'm talking literally in my pajamas and my big, sweatshirt or whatever I'm wearing. Walk out into the living room like a fucking chihuahua. Machine gun fucking criticism. Okay? RPGs on that must have been crazy. Machine gun, fucking talking a blue streak, just going in. Meanwhile, I'm in college studying. The whole criticism was get a job, get a job. I remember there was a period I left the job. I had been like a personal banker. I was like 18, 19. And I left the job because I was like, this is kind of soul sucking. I don't like it, and I want to move on. I want to go back to my old job of bagging groceries. Like, I was a lot happier there, right? And I knew I could get the job back, so I quit. That pissed her off. Every day, you don't have an income. You have this. You don't have that. Blah, 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 blah. Just beating me down. Beating me down, even though the problem had been solved. Even though I'd always paid rent to her. Since being like 14, 15. Always gave her a piece of my Cal grants because I did well in college. Always gave her that stuff. But she just saw an opportunity to fuck with me. And what type of effect are they trying to produce in you with the meanness? Well, one, since it's so unpredictable, you don't trust anything. And you certainly don't trust yourself. Because the logical human being says, damn, this person is coming at me with a lot of intensity. And because I've been trained to think that they're right, I must be wrong. This person clearly knows the way. They're frustrated with me. They're tired of my antics. I must be a bad person. I feel indebted to them. I feel indebted to them and despised by them. I feel that I have to do something to prove my worth. How do I do that? Go out and make more money and pay more rent. That's how I do it, right? That's how I do it. A lot of us are people pleasers. Thankfully, I've always had a lot of fuck you in me. So I kind of saw it. But a lot of times if I'm expressing something, I'm talking about things I've had other people communicate to me. You know, now I fought back and I said, you know what? Your fucking felon boyfriend is sitting there on his duff, playing the bass poorly and smoking weed all day and driving around in the car you bought him. But your kid that's in college, who's leaving one job to get another with a gap of a week in between, that kid's the problem. That's the source of your economic drama, not a full-grown man eating a full-grown man's weight in food every day, driving a car that requires gas when he has no money. Who's paying for this gas? Who's paying for all this weed? I don't believe they give you weed or gas for free. These things all cost money. So I threw that back at her. But for those of you who didn't feel like you had the power to throw that back at you, the aforementioned effects that they tried to produce in you is what they wanted. Negativity is heavy. It weighs you down. How the fuck do you move out if you're weighed down? If you're depressed? If the attack comes from nowhere? You can't even think straight when you are constantly being abused. And that's the other tactic. Confusion. Gaslighting. I could have swore that I was doing the right thing, but I guess I'm doing the wrong thing. I know I didn't go out to meet up with somebody to do anything that I wasn't supposed to do, but I guess I did. Damn, can I trust myself? Am I going to be strong enough to move out on my own? Because it seems like all my instincts and all my thoughts are incorrect. It's shitty here in this house with this narc, but maybe it's the safest place for me to be because apparently I have shitty judgment. Apparently I'm not good at this. You know, apparently there are people that know about me more than me, even if I'm grown. This might be for my benefit. So gaslighting, confusion, that's all to produce an unsteady foot in you, to make it so you can't stand up on your own. Because these people, even though they come at you like a lion, they're little kittens. Watch what happens when you push back on a narcissist. They'll very rarely match your energy. Either they'll attempt to match it and back off when they see it doesn't scare you, okay? Or they're gonna tap other people in. Mommy runs the daddy, or daddy runs the mommy, or uncle or auntie or whomever, and they tag team you. Because again, if you could do it yourself one-on-one, you don't need any help, right? Or they call somebody else, or they start the triangulation. They very rarely do it themselves. They're very weak-built people. Okay? So that is another tactic. And why do they want you there? Because of your financial resources, because of your ability to care for them, because of the ability they have to control you, to make you feel as though your reality is not real. That is the ultimate form of control. That's why propaganda, is such the thing that it is. I have a couple of blisters, don't mind me. That's why propaganda is what it is. That's why it's so effective at controlling people. You go ahead and tell me that the sky is red when I'm looking at it and I know it's blue, but you're saying there's a poll that says that everybody believes the sky is red. Well, okay, then I must be crazy. Now I can't trust any of my reality. Before I end this video, I'll say one thing, or I'll tell a story. So, as I said, I've messed up in life here and there, and I've had to move home. I've made bad decisions, which made it so that I had to move home. And one of the times, and this so perfectly illustrates the point of this video, one of the times my mom approached me, my egg donor approached me, and she did so because, I was working 60 to 72 hours a week during this time because I had to pay legal bills, right? Again, made bad decisions. And I'm working my butt off. She's seeing that. And if you think about it, well, I'm jumping ahead. So she approaches me and she's like, I see you working hard a lot. She's like, I was thinking we should all get a house together. We should all get a house, and that way you can further your education as much as you want, and it'll be easy, and we could all just get a house, and wouldn't that be great if we all lived together? And I'm looking at her and I'm like this doesn't even make sense. I rarely come home. I'm only here because I have to be, and quite frankly, you fucking owe me. If I want to stay here rent-free for 10 years, you fucking owe me. You've taken so much money. You've taken so much of my mental health. You owe me. This is my thought process. Fuck you. I'm using you now. I was at that point in my life where I saw things more clearly. So I'm listening to her. I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about, right? What are you talking about? And I didn't let my face betray that or show that. I'm just listening because what I've learned is let the narc talk. They'll always reveal themselves. They'll always let them talk. Just let them talk. Don't say anything. Don't nod or say mm-mm. Don't reassure or discourage them. Just let them talk. And she's talking about this house and we could all live together in this house. And I'm thinking to myself, I got a 3 in front of my age. I don't want to live with you. Do you think I would really allow you to use my FICO or anything like that to get a mortgage? Do you think I would help you with a down payment on a house so that you can ultimately fucking convalesce? And my brother and I, because your man ain't gonna do shit for you, I promise you. My brother and I could just be the little breadwinners while you two old fucks lay up and do shit. Old ass man working, doing the most menial job he can do because he's a lazy piece of shit. Me and my brother, though, I'm out there busting out 70 hours a week. He's busting out 70 hours a week. Don't come at me with that bullshit. And I just listened to her. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And she's like, and it's not because of money. It's not because of money. And I'm like, nobody said it was. Nobody fucking said it was. What we said was, we're grown and we don't need to be living with you and up under you as adults. What if I want to bring a date home? I don't want that. I don't want that. I want my space, my domain. Okay? Last story. Okay? Nature is a beautiful thing because there's no lying in nature. Okay? A mother bird tends to her nest, tends to her chicks, feeds them, shields them from the storm, shields them from predators that might want to take advantage of their vulnerability. But what she ultimately does is she kicks them the fuck out the nest. And if you don't want to leave voluntarily, I'm going to just headbutt you till you get out the nest. Why? Because she wants the bird to be successful. She knows that if this bird stays here too long and just gets fed by mama, it's not going to learn the skills, to go out there and catch its own worms, to learn how to build its own nest. It won't have the necessity to just stay up in mama's nest. Okay? It won't have the skills to find a mate. It won't have the skills to recognize a predator and to either elude it or fight it. It will not know how to do any of that. So what she knows is she's got to be cruel to be kind. Yeah, you want to stay in this warm ass nest with mommy, but you can't do that. Get the fuck out. I'm throwing you out. I got to make more of you. You got to make more of you. I got things to do. I'll see you in the trees. You got to go. A healthy mother wants that. A healthy father wants that. Beware of these people who want to live with you and want you to live with them long term. That goes against everything that nature is supposed to be about. You don't see grown-ass animals with their parents. You don't see it. You do not see it. That makes them weak. Okay? And nature doesn't like weakness. It's a kindness that nature doesn't like weakness, because it gives them a chance to survive, whatever the animal is. So this is a long-ass video. I think you get the gist of it. A lot of parents want to use you as a retirement plan, and those are the tactics that they use to achieve that effect.